Hello, finance enthusiasts. Today I'm going to tell you about one of the most important economic, cultural, and geographical networks in history, the Silk Road. In this presentation, we'll explore how the Silk Road was established, who used it, how trade worked, how money circulated, and how this vast system shaped human history. Imagine. The calendar shows 200 BCE. A caravan sets off from China, heading west across the steppes of Central Asia. On its back are silks, spices, and precious stones. But the most important cargo is money and trust. The foundations of what we today call the global economy were laid on the back of camels. The Silk Road was a vast trade network stretching from China through Central Asia, Iran, Mesopotamia, Anatolia, and the Mediterranean. Its name comes from silk, China's most valuable export. But the Silk Road was not just about trading silk. Spices, porcelain, gold, glass, precious stones, artworks, religions, ideas, and technologies were also transported along these routes. Thus, the Silk Road became a corridor where civilizations met, both culturally and economically. The foundations of the Silk Road were laid during China's Han Dynasty. Emperor Wu of Han sent the envoy Zhang Qian to the western regions, establishing China's first major diplomatic and trade connections with the Western world. Over time, this network was used by Persians, Indians, Arabs, Turks, Byzantines, and Romans. Each empire controlled and developed parts of the route during its era. At first, trade was mostly conducted through barter, silk for spices, spices for gold. But this system was inefficient because everyone wanted different things. That's when metal coins came into play. Silver and gold were valuable everywhere because they were scarce, portable, and durable. However, carrying tens of kilos of silver was both risky and cumbersome. This prompted merchants to develop early financial innovations. During the Tang Dynasty in China, merchants began sending money from city to city using documents instead of transporting coins physically. This document was called flying money, Feiqian. Essentially the world's first remittance system. You could deposit money with a money changer in Chang'an, and your partner in Luoyang could claim the funds by presenting the document. In the 11th century, the Song Dynasty issued the world's first paper money, jiaozi. The system was so successful that it rapidly increased trade volume, though excessive issuance by the government eventually led to inflation. Trading on the Silk Road required courage. Goods sometimes did not return for years, making it impossible for a single merchant to bear all the risk. So merchants formed partnerships. A group of investors would provide capital, a merchant would undertake the journey, and profits were shared 50-50. If losses occurred, the investors bore them. This was the precursor to modern venture capital and the Mudaraba system. Contracts preserved in the British Museum state. If goods are lost in a desert storm, the merchant will not be held liable. In other words, a force majeure clause was in use 1,300 years ago. Money changers operated like today's bankers. They weighed gold, exchanged currency, and provided secure storage. Caravanserais functioned as medieval banks. A caravan could deposit money in Aksu and withdraw the same amount in Samarkand. Thus money traveled not physically, but as information. The Roman Empire was enamored with Chinese silk. Gold and silver flowed from west to east. China ran trade surpluses while Rome experienced deficits. This was history's first known global financial imbalance. Rome's economy contracted, while China's reserves grew. Think of today's global trade imbalances. The same issue existed 2,000 years ago. Money carried not only economic but also cultural meaning. In China, money symbolized balance and harmony, whereas in the West, gold represented power and wealth. In the Islamic world, interest was prohibited, pushing merchants to find creative solutions. This led to interest-free credit systems and endowment-based financial structures. The Silk Road was not just a route for goods, but also a channel for economic ideas and cultural values. Over time, the importance of land routes diminished. In the 15th century, European sailors reached India and the Far East by sea, and the Ottoman Empire increased control over trade routes. Taxes rose, and commerce shifted directions. But the story didn't end there. In 2013, China launched the Belt and Road Initiative, establishing a modern Silk Road. The goal remained the same: to facilitate trade, investment, and cultural cooperation between East and West. The spirit of the Silk Road still lives on. The Silk Road was not just a trade route. It was the story of humanity's relationship with money, value, and trust. Gold, silver, and paper money were promises. If broken, the system collapsed. Today's cryptocurrencies and stablecoins are digital reflections of the same principle. Every transaction on stock markets and blockchain networks echoes the journeys of those ancient caravans. The Silk Road teaches us that trade is not merely about selling goods. It's about connecting people, ideas, and cultures. Humanity is still grappling with the same question. Does money control people, or do people control money? In the next video, we will discuss the financial history of the Ottoman Empire. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you next time.